Have you ever paused to consider if some of your cherished daily drinks could be subtly elevating your chances of developing cancer as you age? It's a thought that might occasionally surface, particularly if you're in your senior years. As our bodies mature beyond 60, they often become more sensitive to the substances we ingest. Regrettably, certain beverages, even those that might seem innocuous or part of a long-standing routine, can potentially inflict more harm than good on our health in the long run. While many of these drinks might appear harmless, medical experts are increasingly voicing their concerns about their concealed dangers. This video will delve into 6 specific drinks and drink-food combinations that seniors should seriously contemplate reevaluating, especially concerning their long-term susceptibility to cancer. These aren't fleeting internet trends or unfounded rumors. Rather, these insights are rooted in the latest scientific discoveries and the informed counsel of medical professionals who have directly observed the consequences. Now, please don't be alarmed. Our intention here is not to induce fear, but rather to empower you with crucial knowledge. By understanding what to be vigilant about, you can make small, yet significant, adjustments to your lifestyle that can substantially safeguard your health, enhance your vitality, and secure your future well-being. Therefore, please stay with us until the conclusion of this video, as these 6 drink-related risks are frequently underestimated, and gaining this understanding now could potentially help you sidestep one of the most frequent regrets expressed by older patients to their doctors. If you're watching this video, please type "great" in the comments section below. Let's now embark on exploring these vital points, starting with a seemingly healthy choice that might surprise you. 1. Artificially sweetened beverages, a sweet deception. For decades, drinks with artificial sweeteners, such as diet sodas and sugar-free iced teas, were aggressively marketed as healthier alternatives, particularly for individuals aiming to reduce their sugar intake, manage their weight, or regulate their blood glucose levels. On the surface, they might indeed appear to be a more prudent choice. After all, they don't trigger the same rapid increase in blood sugar levels as their sugar-laden counterparts, and they often boast a zero-calorie count. However, what many seniors might not fully grasp is that these beverages carry their own set of concealed hazards risks that can gradually erode your gut health, disrupt your metabolic equilibrium, and potentially elevate your susceptibility to developing certain types of cancer over time. As a perceptive nutrition researcher once noted, artificial sweeteners don't merely pass through the body without leaving a trace. Instead, they can profoundly alter the body's internal milieu, particularly the delicate balance of the microbiome. The gut microbiome, a vast and intricate ecosystem comprising trillions of bacteria within our digestive tract, plays a critical role in modulating inflammation throughout the body, detoxifying harmful substances, and providing essential support to our immune system. When this intricate harmony is disturbed, it can set off a chain reaction of long-term health issues. This understanding holds particular significance for seniors, whose digestive systems and immune functions are often already more susceptible to imbalance. Numerous studies have suggested that common artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin can modify the composition of gut bacteria in ways that may promote inflammation and impede the body's ability to effectively regulate glucose. For an individual in their 70s or 80s, even subtle alterations in this delicate microbial community can have substantial and far-reaching consequences, potentially contributing to the development of insulin resistance, low-grade chronic inflammation, and, over extended periods, creating cellular environments that are more vulnerable to the initiation and progression of cancer. Share your thoughts by commenting "Sweet Illusion" below if this information caught you off guard. The concerns extend beyond the gut. There's a growing body of research investigating potential associations between the prolonged consumption of artificial sweeteners and an increased incidence of specific cancers, including those affecting the bladder and breast. While the data is still unfolding and further research is necessary to fully elucidate the extent of this connection, the level of apprehension among health experts is significant enough that many now strongly advise older adults to limit or avoid the regular consumption of these synthetic chemicals, especially when safer, natural alternatives are readily available. If you've established a habit of reaching for a diet soda or a sugar-free drink as a daily ritual, consider making a simple yet impactful substitution. Try replacing it with naturally flavored water infused with refreshing fruits like berries or citrus. Opt for soothing herbal teas, or choose beverages lightly sweetened with natural options, such as a touch of honey or stevia. Your body will likely express its gratitude in numerous ways, not only in the short term with improved digestion and more stable energy levels, but also potentially in the long term by reducing your overall risk of chronic diseases. When it comes to artificial sweeteners, it appears that consuming less is not just beneficial, it may be considerably safer for your health, particularly as you advance in age. 2. The perilous pairing, alcohol and processed meats. For many individuals, especially seniors, the tradition of enjoying a relaxing glass of wine or a refreshing beer with their evening meal represents one of life's simple yet profound pleasures. And when that meal features tempting items like crispy bacon, flavorful sausage, or an array of savory deli meats on a charcuterie board, it can often feel like the quintessential pairing, a delightful way to unwind at the end of the day. However, what many seniors might not fully appreciate is that the combination of alcohol and processed meats has been increasingly identified by researchers and medical professionals as a particularly risky mix, especially for those over the age of 60. This specific combination has been shown to significantly amplify the production of certain carcinogenic compounds within the digestive system, thereby substantially increasing the risk for several types of cancer, including cancers of the colon, esophagus, and stomach. A leading oncology specialist once shared a critical insight. Processed meats inherently carry certain health risks, but when they are consumed in conjunction with alcohol, the body's natural capacity to detoxify harmful substances is significantly impaired, and this is often when cellular-level damage can occur. While this might sound alarmingly dramatic, it's a statement firmly grounded in robust scientific evidence. Processed meats, by their very nature, often contain nitrates and nitrites. These are preservatives commonly employed in the curing, smoking, or processing of meats to enhance their flavor and extend their shelf life. However, when these compounds are broken down within the body, they can form substances known as nitramines, which are well-established carcinogens. When alcohol enters the system concurrently, it further complicates matters. Alcohol is primarily metabolized by the liver, and it can interfere with the liver's crucial detoxification pathways. This interference weakens the body's natural defenses against harmful compounds. Together, alcohol and the byproducts of processed meats create a scenario where cellular damage can accumulate at an accelerated rate, exceeding the body's capacity for repair. Over time, this type of internal stress and the presence of carcinogenic compounds can trigger the types of genetic mutations in cells that can ultimately lead to the development of cancer. If you're reconsidering your meal pairings, comment mindful meals below. Consider the experience of Matilda, an 83-year-old from Arizona who cherished her Sunday brunch ritual of enjoying crispy bacon with a mimosa. "It was my little indulgence," she fondly remembered. However, after experiencing persistent stomach issues, her doctor explained the potential role this particular food and drink combination might have played in contributing to her discomfort. Matilda didn't have to completely eliminate all the foods and drinks she loved, but she made some significant and beneficial adjustments. She started opting for fresh fruit and whole grain toast with her brunch more often, and when she did choose to have a mimosa, she paired it with lighter, unprocessed options like scrambled eggs and avocado. "It's all about making smarter choices as I get older," she wisely stated. It's also crucial to recognize that many individuals over the age of 70 naturally experience a decline in liver function and slower digestive processes. This means that alcohol can remain in their system for a longer duration, and the body has to exert more effort to break down and eliminate any harmful compounds. When you combine this with processed meats, which have already been classified by the World Health Organization as a Group 1 carcinogen, indicating sufficient evidence of their cancer-causing potential in humans, you create a compounded risk to your system that only intensifies with age. This doesn't necessitate completely eliminating all your favorite foods and drinks. However, it does underscore the importance of being more strategic and conscious about your choices. If you choose to consume alcohol, it's advisable to do so in moderation and consciously avoid pairing it with processed meats. Instead, opt for meals that feature whole grains, an abundance of colorful vegetables, and lean sources of protein. These types of foods can actually support your body's natural detoxification mechanisms rather than further burdening them. I trust you are finding this video informative and engaging. Before we proceed to the next crucial point, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you're finding it valuable, and share it with your loved ones who might also benefit from this information. Your support enables us to continue producing valuable content like this to educate and empower you on your journey to better health. If you're enjoying this video, please comment insightful below. Now, let's delve into another prevalent habit among seniors that carries a significant, yet often underestimated, cancer risk. 3. Sugary soft drinks, a hidden threat. One of the most frequently consumed categories of beverages among older adults is also one of the most underestimated concerning its potential to elevate cancer risk. Sugary soft drinks. Whether it's a classic cola accompanying lunch or a fizzy lemon-lime soda on a warm afternoon, these drinks might seem like a harmless indulgence or a simple way to quench thirst. However, their long-term effects on the body are far from benign. Sugary soft drinks are typically packed with substantial amounts of added sugars, often in the form of high-fructose corn syrup. Regular consumption of these beverages can create a detrimental cascade of effects within the body, leading to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and ultimately, cellular damage. And it's precisely through these pathways that the connection to cancer begins to solidify. As an experienced senior nutritionist once astutely observed, sugary beverages are not merely sources of empty calories. They actively inflict harm on the body. The frequent and rapid spikes in blood sugar levels that occur after consuming these drinks can actually fuel the abnormal proliferation of cells, particularly in aging bodies that tend to metabolize sugar less efficiently. This insight is particularly sobering when you consider how readily available and easily consumed these sugary drinks are. Share your reaction by commenting "sugar scare" if you were unaware of this significant risk. What many seniors might also not fully appreciate is that their metabolism, gut health, and insulin sensitivity naturally undergo changes as they age. This implies that the same sugary drink they might have tolerated relatively well in their younger years could now be silently causing damage to the intricate systems their body relies on to regulate inflammation, maintain stable blood sugar levels, and effectively eliminate cellular waste products. Over extended periods, this internal environment, characterized by persistent inflammation and metabolic dysfunction, can become fertile ground for the development of genetic mutations and cancerous changes, particularly in organs such as the pancreas, colon, and liver. Consider the experience of Alicia, a 79-year-old retired teacher from Illinois. For years, Alicia had enjoyed a daily routine of drinking a large sweet tea with her dinner. "It was just my little treat to unwind at the end of the day," she explained. However, after receiving a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes and learning about the potential link between sugary drinks and increased cancer risk, she decided to make a significant change. With the support of her doctor, Alicia gradually weaned herself off sweet tea and transitioned to drinking plain water infused with slices of cucumber and mint. It wasn't easy at first, she admitted, but I feel so much better now. My energy is more consistent, and I'm glad I made the switch. It's not solely the high sugar content in these drinks that raises concerns. The artificial colorings, preservatives, and other additives found in many sodas and sugary drinks have also been subjects of scrutiny regarding their potential long-term health effects. Additionally, the high acidity of these beverages can erode tooth enamel and potentially irritate the lining of the digestive tract, further compounding health risks for seniors who might already be dealing with dental issues or acid reflux. Choosing to forego sugary sodas and other sweetened beverages doesn't mean sacrificing enjoyment or hydration. It simply involves making more informed and health-conscious choices when it comes to what you drink. Simple substitutions, such as infusing your water with natural flavors, opting for unsweetened herbal teas, or choosing sparkling water with a splash of natural fruit juice, can make a profound difference not only for your immediate well-being and energy levels, but also for your long-term health and protection against chronic diseases. You deserve beverages that nourish and support your body, not undermine it. 4. Scalding hot tea or coffee, a burn risk. For a multitude of individuals, particularly as they age, the act of holding and sipping a steaming cup of tea or coffee, especially first thing in the morning, is deeply ingrained in their daily routine. It's more than just a way to consume caffeine. It's a ritual that provides warmth, comfort, and a moment of peaceful contemplation before the demands of the day take over. However, there's a seemingly insignificant detail that many people overlook: the temperature at which they consume these hot beverages. And it turns out that this seemingly benign habit of drinking your tea or coffee while it's still excessively hot could be posing a significant risk to the delicate tissues lining your throat and esophagus. A prominent gastroenterologist once highlighted a critical point. The concern isn't necessarily with the tea or coffee itself, but rather with the extreme temperature at which it is ingested. Repeated thermal injury to the sensitive lining of the esophagus can substantially increase the risk of developing esophageal cancer, particularly in older adults. This warning might sound surprising, but numerous studies across various populations have consistently demonstrated a correlation between the habitual consumption of very hot beverages, typically those exceeding 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, approximately 55 to 60 degrees Celsius, and a higher incidence of esophageal cancer. If you'll be waiting for your hot drinks to cool down a bit more, comment temperature check below. Consider this: when you consume a beverage that is scalding hot, you are essentially causing a thermal burn to the delicate inner lining of your esophagus. Even if you don't consciously perceive the burn, over time, this repeated irritation and cellular damage can lead to chronic inflammation, cellular changes, and eventually, the development of precancerous conditions. It's particularly important for seniors to be aware of this potential hazard. As we age, the mucosal linings throughout our body, including those in the esophagus, tend to become thinner and less resilient, and their ability to heal efficiently may also diminish. This means that even minor thermal injuries from excessively hot beverages can take longer to recover from, and repeated exposure to extreme heat can accumulate damage more rapidly compared to younger individuals. Take the example of Benedict, an 85-year-old from Pennsylvania who had enjoyed his morning cup of black coffee served immediately after brewing steaming hot. "I never thought about the temperature being an issue," he admitted. "That's just how I've always drunk it." However, after experiencing persistent discomfort and difficulty swallowing, his doctor advised him to let his coffee cool down for a few minutes before drinking. Benedict was initially hesitant, but he tried it and found that not only did it alleviate his discomfort, but he could also appreciate the nuances of the coffee's flavor more. "It was a simple change that made a big difference," he noted. The key takeaway here is that allowing your hot beverages to cool down slightly before consuming them is a simple yet effective way to protect your esophagus from potential thermal damage. Not only does this reduce the risk of burns and long-term health complications, but as Benedict discovered, it can also enhance your enjoyment of the drink itself by allowing the full spectrum of flavors to emerge. So, the next time you pour yourself a hot cup of tea or coffee, consider waiting just a few extra minutes before taking that first sip. Your esophagus will thank you in the long run. 5. Overconsumption of red and processed meats beyond alcohol combination. We previously discussed the heightened risk associated with combining processed meats and alcohol. Now, let's broaden the scope and address the potential cancer risks linked to the general overconsumption of both red and processed meats, particularly for seniors. This is a well-established area of concern in the medical and nutritional communities, with substantial evidence pointing towards an increased risk of certain cancers, notably colorectal cancer. Share your thoughts on this by commenting Meat Matters below. Processed meats, as we've mentioned, include items like hot dogs, bacon, sausages, deli meats, and any meat that has been preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or the addition of chemical preservatives. Red meats include beef, pork, and lamb. The concern with processed meat stems from the presence of nitrates and nitrites, which can form carcinogenic nitramines in the body. Additionally, the high salt and fat content in many processed meats can contribute to inflammation and other health issues that may indirectly increase cancer risk. Red meat, while a good source of iron and protein, contains heme iron, which has been shown in some studies to potentially damage the lining of the colon, leading to the formation of N-nitroso compounds, similar to those found in processed meats. Cooking red meat at high temperatures, such as grilling or frying, can also produce heterocyclic amines HCAS and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons PAHs, which are also known carcinogens. For seniors, whose digestive systems might be more sensitive and whose cellular repair mechanisms might be less efficient, the impact of these compounds can be more pronounced over time. Numerous studies have consistently linked high consumption of red and processed meats to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. And some research also suggests potential links to other cancers, including stomach and pancreatic cancer. Consider the case of Timothy, an 88-year-old from Florida who had enjoyed a diet rich in red meat throughout his life. He often had steak for dinner several times a week and regularly included processed meats like bacon and sausage in his breakfast routine. After being diagnosed with colorectal cancer, Timothy's doctor discussed with him the potential role his lifelong dietary habits might have played in his diagnosis. While it wasn't the sole factor, reducing his consumption of red and processed meats was strongly recommended as part of his recovery and long-term health plan. Timothy gradually shifted his diet to include more poultry, fish, beans, and lentils as his primary sources of protein, and he significantly reduced his intake of red and processed meats. "It was a big change for me," Timothy admitted, "but I'm feeling better, and I understand the importance of making these adjustments for my health. It's not necessary to completely eliminate red meat from your diet, but moderation is key." The American Cancer Society and other health organizations recommend limiting the consumption of processed meats as much as possible and reducing your intake of red meat. Opting for leaner cuts of meat, using lower heat cooking methods, and incorporating more plant-based protein sources into your diet can be beneficial strategies for reducing your potential cancer risk. 6. Overconsumption of fried foods. Another dietary habit that seniors should be mindful of regarding potential cancer risk is the overconsumption of fried foods. While the occasional indulgence in fried chicken or French fries might seem harmless, a diet consistently high in fried foods can contribute to several health issues that may indirectly increase the risk of cancer over time. Comment fried facts if this makes you rethink your frying habits. When foods, particularly starchy foods like potatoes, are fried at high temperatures, a compound called acrylamide can form. Acrylamide has been classified as a probable human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer (IARC), based on studies in laboratory animals. While the evidence in humans is still evolving, some studies have suggested a potential link between high dietary intake of acrylamide and an increased risk of certain cancers, including kidney, endometrial, and ovarian cancer. Furthermore, fried foods are often high in unhealthy fats, including trans fats and saturated fats, which can contribute to obesity, inflammation, and insulin resistance. These conditions are themselves associated with an increased risk of various types of cancer. Chronic inflammation, in particular, is a known contributor to the development and progression of cancer. Consider the example of Camilla, a 75-year-old from Texas who loved to cook and often prepared fried foods for herself and her family. Her go-to meals included fried chicken, fried fish, and plenty of fried vegetables. After learning about the potential health risks associated with high consumption of fried foods, particularly for seniors, Camilla decided to make some changes to her cooking habits. She started exploring healthier cooking methods like baking, grilling, and steaming. She also began incorporating more fresh, non-fried vegetables into her meals. "I still enjoy some of my favorite fried dishes occasionally," Camilla explained. "But I'm much more mindful of how often I'm eating them now, and I definitely feel better." Reducing your intake of fried foods doesn't mean you have to give up all your favorite comfort foods. Instead, focus on exploring healthier cooking methods and making fried foods an occasional treat, rather than a dietary staple. Opting for baked, grilled, or steamed versions of your favorite dishes can significantly reduce your intake of harmful compounds and unhealthy fats, contributing to better overall health and potentially lowering your cancer risk. Now that we've explored these 6 often overlooked drink and food-related habits, it's time to reflect on their collective significance. These aren't just isolated tips. They represent a holistic approach to understanding how our dietary choices can impact our long-term health, especially as we age. By being more conscious of what we consume, we can take proactive steps to protect ourselves against potential cancer risks. Remember, making small, sustainable changes to your daily habits can have a profound impact on your well-being over time. It's never too late to adopt healthier practices and prioritize your health. Thank you for joining us today. We encourage you to leave a comment below and share which of these points resonated with you the most or what changes you plan to make in your own life. Your engagement is valuable to us. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more valuable health insights, and share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers you to live a healthier life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Before you go, be sure to explore our other interesting videos on the channel for more tips and information on healthy aging.